Our next fight here, though, a pro debut, highly anticipated, especially by the man himself, Marc Castro. He's 21 years old. He'll be taking on Luis Javier Valdes, who is 7-5-1. Both men are 21 years old.
These pro debuts can be really tricky to make. We saw Nkosi Solomon on an early Dazn show lose his pro debut. Robisi Ramirez, one of the most decorated amateurs ever, lost his pro debut a year and a half ago. It's tough sometimes picking the right guy.
Vasily Lomachenko lost to Orlando Salido very early in his career. Was that his first or second pro fight?
Second pro fight.
Second pro fight after he'd gone like 401 as an amateur. Right away, the right hand from Castro as he moves in. Marc Castro, again, his fourth chance at getting a fight this year. Fight after fight, falling out, including his own positive COVID test. He said he was asymptomatic, and he feels physically fine right now and ready to go. They'll fight 4 rounds, scheduled for 4 at least, against Luis Javier Valdes, also 21 years old.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Marc Castro is going to unfold as a professional, because you just mentioned all the accolades as an amateur, but like we touched on earlier, this is a different game. You know, you got to slow things down, but right now I want to see jabs, and I want to see a little bit more slowing down, patience, a little bit more patience from Castro.
Doesn't look a little jittery, but he landed a right hand to the body, went immediately up to the head with the right hand. Some good scoring shots from Castro. Castro in the silver trunks, Valdes in the black. Frenetic pace so far. 3-punch combination by Castro.
Since we never seen Castro fight as a pro, I asked Castro, you know, describe your style, and he says, well, I'm relentless and I'm a smart pressure fighter.
Castro says, hey, I'm a learner. I love to learn, and he expects to learn here in the ring. I mean, he didn't come in cocky. We spoke to him this week, and he knows that, you know, he's the big prospect, the future star, but he says, this is the big leagues. Every move can be countered, and I have to be careful. Right hand just falls short. He continues to throw combinations. Hook to the body by Valdes.
If this were jabs, I'd say a telescope.
Microscope. Microscope, okay.
Wow, you're really picking him apart.
Hey, there's no front row, so people are sitting up there in the Alamodome.
Right hand snaps back Valdez's head from Castro. Round number 2, only scheduled for 4. And to the point, Chris, that you made earlier, how things can be tricky. That, oh, down he goes.
Good shot.
That is a knockdown.
It was an uppercut.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hazte para acá, ven para acá, manos para arriba, ven para acá.
Mark Malloy lets him back in. 2 shots landed from Castro, and Valdes went down. He barely beat that count. Let's see if Castro can finish. Hard body shot. That landed, moving his head as he comes in under the tight guard.
Look at how loose he's punching now. Look at how fluid he's punching. That knockdown right there gave him a confidence.
No question. Throwing the hook after the right hand. He comes in stalking Valdes now. Valdes showing some good composure and trying to survive.
It's the body shots that are hurting Valdes.
Hard right hand. Valdes trying to smother Castro. Now, I mentioned, you know, 4 rounds, sometimes you can lose rather easily, even when you're not losing the fight. The judges just score those rounds, but now that 10-8 round at the very least, making things a little easier for Castro, not worrying about going to the cards.
Yeah, these 4-round bouts are dangerous. I mean, I hated my pro debut. I had a horrible pro debut. I got knocked down, I got a cut, and I barely won a split decision. So you gotta be careful with these 4-rounders. They go by really quick.
I don't remember that.
It was at the Arrowhead Pond in 2001.
Pre-contender.
Oh,
right?
way pre-contender.
I had the other guy.
But I got dropped by a guy that was 2-1-1, I believe.
I like that, Chris. Chris thought the other guy got robbed. Final seconds. Maybe Valdes can finish this round. Hard body shots there by Castro in round number 2. Knockdown in that second round, in the first of Marc Castro's career.
I thought this was an uppercut, Brian, but the uppercut was blocked. It was a straight chopping right hand to the side of the ear that actually knocked Valdes down. That's the uppercut I thought that landed right there.
I'll give Valdes credit, too. He finished that round you know, look, not with a flourish, but he at least was able to get his footing and his composure back and finish boxing after he barely beat that count. I mean, he got up at 9, correct? Yeah, I mean, so he had to think about it long and hard before he got up, and he got up and fought well.
Valdes cutting off the ring, really putting smart pressure on Valdes. But I like the way Castro's fighting now. He's fighting nice and loose.
Again, pro debut for Marc Castro there in the silver trunks. He's only 21 years old. Valdes also 21. But Castro comes in from the world amateur champion, and high hopes for him in his career.
The hardest thing to do for an amateur for a professional that had such an amateur success is slow things down and fight with patience. I mean, you need to learn patience and learn that poise and discipline.
Yeah, and he's really settled down after that first round. One factor in any kind of sluggish start is that he might be a little bit rusty. This is a guy used to fighting once a month,
right?
Maybe more repeatedly. He's had 4 fights, 1 canceled in the last 8-9 months, so he's coming off a pretty long layoff for a guy that's frequently busy.
It's a good point. I've been stunned by, again, and this is a credit to all the top professionals out there, including Errol Spence, who you just spoke to. I mean, he's coming off his car accident, which was horrific. But even all fighters, just months off, where you're in the gym, but you can do your best. And even a lot of the top fighters barely got gym time. Guys built gyms in their houses, trying to get in their garage. They're running out in the street and just trying to do their best. So, no, you're absolutely right. Even world-class competitors have been off for a period of time that they never would be off before. Hard body shots there by Castro. Goes to the head. Valdes is hurt. He takes another knee. Big right hand put him down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's it. Mark Lloyd waves it off, and I think that's a good call. He got to 10. Valdes perhaps beat the count, but he was just doing his best. And Marc Castro opens up his professional career, finally, and does it with a knockout win.
Castro beat the fight out of Valdes, and he beat the fight out of him with body shots.
He went body head beautifully there, Sergio.
Yes, he did, like a real pro. But notice how he slowed things down. The slower he got, the more he started pinpointing those shots and landing with precision, which is what hurts. And he passed the test with flying colors. I mean, to get a knockout on your pro debut is hard enough. To get a knockout in 4 rounds is hard enough. But he did it, and he was able to do it by not smothering himself, putting the right shots, and it was those body shots that took the fight out of Valdes. That was a nice left hand to the liver, and there was no way Valdes was coming up after that.
There's just no way of getting past having to go through this experience, right, Sergio? You just got to go out and do it.
You got to go through the fire, Brian.
See, they're right on the belt line and then going up top beautifully, and then with the hook to the body as well. Ooh, the punctuation with the hook. Nicely done.
When I was crunching the numbers here, I said, well, this is a tough fight for Castro to be making his pro debut against a fighter never stopped in 13 fights. But, this is what you got to do.